Hello friendos and randos, I'm back with more green purple Luffy gameplay. After my first day testing the deck, I think it's been pretty good. Now that it's on sim, I've been able to kind of experiment a little bit more. Here you see we're playing against some purple Luffy. I'm going first, and I do have a pretty good opener. I have I have Zorojiro. I do have Sanji and Pudding, and I also have a Luffy Taro for my 7 Dawn turn. So doing pretty well here. I actually make a misplay right away and forget that I have to take the life for the Zorojiro effect to work. But no big deal. Play the Sanji and Pudding, use my leader effect right away. So this is going to be the very common curve that you see. Just Sanji and Pudding on 5, and then right away you proceed with swing with your 3 cost and swing with your leader. Just push your opponent to low as fast as you can. This deck is extremely aggressive, and you do want to play as aggressively as possible. In kind of a rough position because my hand is like 4 no counter cards right now. So one good thing about the P Luffy matchup is that he does take his own life very quickly, so you are actually able to push a lot of damage very fast. So he does have the Sangoro, draws a 2k from his Law Searcher, and with 7 Dawn left over, probably going to drop another Luffy Taro here. And he does go for the Luffy Taro into a second Sangoro. So hand size right now he's at 7, which is actually not that big for purple Luffy player. Does counter out of my first 7. I'm going to drop the SEC and then push another 7k swing in, and then my leader is going to swing for another 7k swing after. So here I want to protect my SEC from 9 cost Big Mom, so I put the stage effect on it, and I'm going to swing for 8, leave a Dawn open, so that even if he does go 9 cost Big Mom, I can push for lethal next turn with the SEC on my board, and maybe even the second SEC in my hand. So just chilling here, make sure I counter out of the hits on my board. He does go for the Luffy Taro swing first, and then he's going to go for a 9k swing with his Sangoro as well, and I'm going to counter out of that with Gigant. And then he does still have 5 non left, but he chooses to surrender here. He does have 2 Gigants in hand, so I think he was actually pretty safe, and I did draw 2 bricks off of Gigant. But it is what it is. We're going to go on to the next game against a Shanks. He does choose to go second, and I have to mulligan because I didn't have a 1 or a 3 cosplay. So I draw onto the stage, which is not the greatest in this matchup because red doesn't really have cost-based removal. And I do have Zorojiro off of the stage draw, which is pretty nice. So just gonna swing 5k. As an aggro deck, I don't really mind if he chooses to take the life because I do want him to go low faster. But in some cases, you may not want to take this like free 5k swing into Shanks. So he does drop the Hongo here. I don't have the Sanji and Pudding to play down, so I do get it on the next card, which is pretty rough. And I do have a second Sanji and Pudding option here, but I also see Luffy Taro, and I only play 2, so I figure I'll pick it up. Next turn, I can drop Luffy Taro plus Sanji and Pudding, which is pretty strong. And the Shanks actually does have answers to whatever's on my board at the moment, which is the Building Snake as well as the Hongo. So he can get rid of my board. Notably, he also did not swing at me so that I couldn't use the Zorojiro's effect to ramp. And yep, he does do Building Snake into Mako, getting rid of my Zorojiro. And then on my turn, I go to Luffy Taro into Sanji Pudding. I do get to draw a card because I'm now at 6 Dawn. And because I realized that I am not going to be able to get the Zorojiro to land probably anyway, I'm just going to swing with 4k into leader to ramp 1 and then play the Zorojiro. So here I grab a Gigant. I already have a SEC in hand, don't think I need a second one. And he is going to be able to remove my Sanji and Pudding with Hongo plus Ben Beckman. Rayleigh here will have also been pretty strong. And he clears my Zorojiro Ramper, And it's probably going to swing 6 at me with the Mako as well. Which he does. And I do want to protect myself a little bit against Shanks because he will end up playing like much bigger bodies later. So I'm just going to counter out of that early. So I did draw into Zoro. Wasn't really sure what I wanted to play here. I think SEC is probably the best option. But I do want to clear this Hongo first if possible. So just gonna swing into it with the Nami. And he does let go. So I'm gonna start pushing into phase now. Firstly with my Zorojuro. Alright. Then I'm probably gonna drop the SEC. Oh wait. Am I choosing? Maybe I'm thinking to not use leader effect here. So I go 6 into 7. Which he does reduce. Okay, no, I just misplayed. Alright. So I think I had to use the leader effect so that I have Dawn for Gigan to protect my SEC. But I do get to push in an additional 8k swing with the Luffy Taro. My leader swing should have been 7, so that was a small misplay. But I think it would have been okay to leave my leader at 6k, because I think the Shanks feels the need to clear my board here, which is all like 6k or higher anyway. He does get a free swing with leader in that case, but So I'm just going to counter out of this, considering the next swing is Backman 7. Then we're going to see what else he chooses to play here. I don't think it's ready. If it was, he would have dropped it first. So we do see the dragon. So I'm just going to counter out of it with a Gigant. Make sure it doesn't die. I'm going to see another 9k swing. Alright. So we're just going to try to push Lito here. So first with a7 to face. And against characters like this SEC Luffy, the Shanks should actually save his leader effect for the SEC because it gives -1 to 2 different hits. Because it is -1k power for the whole turn after all. He does use it on my Zorojuro instead. I'm considering a 9k swing with the Luffy Taro, and that is what I'm going to do. I play the stage, so I have 1 Dawn to restand. It's essentially free. So go Dawn -2, I restand 1 of my Dawn, and then I can go 699 with my SEC Luffy. After seeing that I drew a 2k off of my stage, I think it's actually fine to just all in here because I don't think I die on the crackback no matter what. So just forcing the Shanks to drop 3 cards here. He actually drops 4 cards, which is pretty good as well. And on the crackback, he only has 10 Dawn, so we can expect like a 4-3-3 split. So that's like a 10-10-12, and I definitely have enough to counter at least one of those, so that's fine. Instead, he goes for the Becky swing first, so we get a 7k swing and another dragon. This means he probably splits 7, 8, 9, 9, and I can counter out of all of those, so all is good. And then here we go with the 899. I could choose to take and gamble that I get 1k from both my life, but I realize if I draw 2 bricks I lose, so I just figured let's just be safe about it. And next time I still win anyway, and he would have lost anyway because he does have 2 bricks in hand. So here's our rematch. No, this is the second game with a different Shanks player. So I start off with the at Sea Fight Pirates Social Event. I draw a second Zorojuro. I think Zerjo is really good as well. Helps you to just be net neutral in terms of hand size while playing characters down, which is nice. He's also a 6k body, which is really good against Shanks. Here, no 3 cosplay unfortunately, so just go in with a gem to face. And he does go for the take. 4 down turn on his end, just a 7k swing, and then after that 2 dot open, maybe going for a sort of Red Hawk play or something like that if I were to play a 5k character. Instead, I see that I top deck Luffy Taro, and I don't think I'm going to use Sanji and Pudding's effect this turn anyway, because I can't go 5 plus 3. I don't have a good 3 cost to play, so I'm just going to swing 6, put a bit more pressure, and then get 1 hand cut, and then play the Zorojiro, and then next turn I'm going to do the Luffy Taro Sanji and Pudding play. So Shanks deciding on my 6k swing. It's just 1k counter after using leader effect, which is relatively cheap, but it's still a hand out of his a card out of his hand, which is definitely the goal here, especially in this kind of matchup. Him missing the 4 down turn is pretty nice for me as well, so he just doesn't have like a lucky rule or anything like that to set up, which is great. And does decide to take the 6k swing here, which is pretty nice. I have Zorojo here, and the 4 cost Zorojo, I decide to grab the 3 cost, because next turn when I go 7 plus 5, I get 3 down active, then I can play the 3 cost down, so good to just have something to fill out that curve. And another benefit of not playing Sanji and Pudding on 5 is that it dodges the Kamusari, Divine Departure from Shanks, because he can use 6 Dawn and immediately get rid of the Sanji and Pudding on curve, and for a very efficient spell. Whereas just playing the Zorojiro here sets up a little bit better. It only really dies to like Mako plus Gordon, and if he has that, I mean, he has that, right? But otherwise, I think it's better to protect the Sanji and Pudding as much as you can, especially if you don't need to use the leader effect yet. It looks like he top deck a Lucky Rule, either off of life or his top deck for the turn. So I'm just going to swing with my Zorojiro first. I'm going Luffy Taro this turn. If he does end up blocking with the Lucky Rule, I mean, I think that's still a plus for me. The goal is to Luffy Taro Luffy Taro Sanji and Pudding, and then leader effect into Zorojiro. So that is going to be the play. I do have the 4 cost green Zoro in hand as well to rest the Lucky Rule later, so it's not really that big of a problem. And the Shanks here can consider blocking and then just getting rid of my Zorojiro on the spot, which is what he will do. Not really a big fan of that decision, but he did do it, so it is what it is. So I go leader effect here, and then 6k swing into the Shanks, only 1k counter needed, and we play our Zorojiro like I said, and that's it for the turn. So next turn we are going to be on 7 Dawn. It's possible to drop the Zorojiro, it's possible to drop the SEC, so we have a few options here. He does go Gordon Backman onto our Sanji and Pudding, so I'm just going to see if I can find a second Sanji and Pudding here. No, I didn't, so I'm just going to grab another Rester Zoro to deal with Lucky Rule if he has another one in the future. First we're going to swing with the Zorojiro, force him to use 1k counter on his leader effect, and then we still have 6 Dawn active, so we can play the SEC here, and then leader effect here gets me the 2 Dawn back, so I can go with a 7k swing and then another 7k swing, and then the Luffy Taro for 8 or even 9. I do have the last Dawn open to probably use the stage just to cycle the breaker of my hand. So we'll see what he does with this 7k swing. He does counter out with a 2 and a 1. I'm dropping my stage here, and then I'm actually going to end turn, leaving both my characters active. I think in this case I was probably trying to play around 10 cost Shanks, but I probably could have just chosen to not play SEC Luffy in this case. He does go for the Rayleigh, and then after that, Becky swings at me for 7. Luffy Taro here is now stuck at 5, which is pretty sad. So I do have Zorjiro, I do also have Nami, so I'm going to search first, and then I do pick up a Sanji and Pudding, so this gives me enough dawn to play another Zorjiro. So we're going to do that. He does have a pretty small hand size now, which is pretty good. I don't think I need another Sanji and Pudding, but I do go and pick it up anyway. I don't think the game is ending that soon, so it's good to just pick it up first, I guess. And then next turn I can probably go for another Sanji and Pudding Zorjiro play. I do want to protect this Luffy Taro as much as possible, so I do leave the 1 down open for Gigant. So ready swings 8. I do just choose to take that. I can counter out of the next one with Usohachi and the Nami Searcher. He does go for a Lucky Rule here. I do have Rester Zoro in hand, but we're just going to swing with the Zorojiro first, just to try and bait out that Lucky Rule block early. And we're going to actually rest the Lucky Rule so we can push more damage here. Here is an 8k swing into the Shanks. He does end up taking, and we're going to go down -2, get our leader effect, and then push another 8k swing with the Luffy Taro. And he does actually have the Red Hawk, and he uses that to clear my Usohachi. So pretty good on his end. I will drop the Sanji and Pudding just to draw another card, and then I'm also going to I guess use the stage for fun, because I mean Shanks doesn't really have cost related KO or anything like that. And then I do have 3 down open. If he does have another Red Hawk, I guess he has it, but I do want to make sure that I hit above Kamusari, so I'm just going to swing for 8 here, and I believe he does have that second Red Hawk here, and he does clears my Nami Searcher as well, which is unfortunate but still okay. I do still have the Zoro Wrestler in hand to deal with the Lucky Rule next turn. He does actually go for a Dragon here. I think he's going to try to clear board, so he does 7k into my Zorojiro, easy 2k counter. Probably going to swing into my Zorojiro again, and I give him 2k again. Oh no, I'm actually going to give it to him here, so that I can protect the Sanji and Pudding instead. It is definitely a higher priority character after all. So we're going to Gigant on my Sanji and Pudding. We get the 1 down back. We get the 4k and then the 2 hand cards back. And then here we go with the Zoro resting and hitting into the Lucky Rule, just trying to see if he is silly and burns 1k on it, which he doesn't, of course. Then here we are going to swing with our board first. The Sanji and Pudding goes for a 6k swing, and then we're going to see if he has a Red Hawk. We can bait it out, and we do. Here is me forgetting that he's already used his leader effect, so I just go for an 8k swing, and he does end up losing off of that. So that was a few different matchups into the Shanks and Purple Luffy. Just wanted to talk about some of the edits that I've made to the deck list since the previous video. I've put stage up to 4 copies. I think it's really important in this meta, especially. You want to make sure you dodge Jozu, you want to make sure you dodge Bouncer Law, dodge Gravity Blade, and no matter what, you really need to protect that Sanji and Pudding, so it's a really good card. It's also net neutral because you do draw right after, so I mean no real harm in making your deck a little bit smaller. We're also playing 2 of the Searcher Purple event. This is really because the deck is super reliant on Sanji and Pudding, so you really do want to see it. So I have taken out 2 Luffy Taro as well as the film Luffy's, so that I can make space for it. Personally, I also don't think you need to run 4 copies of the SEC, so I'm running 2 with Luffy Taro. I think it has its strengths. As you can see in the games a bit earlier, being able to flood with the Luffy Taro is still really powerful, so I do like it to still have that option. But you can see most of the gameplay is really just Sanji Pudding plus X cost, and that's really strong. You can see in the going second curve, on the 6th turn you can play Sanji Pudding and Zorojiro on the same turn, which is really good on 6. So that is pretty powerful. Otherwise, going first, you do have to play Sanji Pudding and a 3 cost, or you can see the curve that I did in that Shanks game where I went Zoro first, and then Luffy, Taro, Sanji, and Pudding the following turn, which is also pretty powerful. I'm personally still a fan of the Chopper blocker over the Robin blocker. I think going Dawn +1 is much better than going Dawn -1. Even though you do get the hand card difference, I think it's still more worth it in this case. I've also cut Frankie down to 2 copies to make more space for this, and I've also included the Asura Demonic 9 Flash for resting blockers especially. And one interesting interaction with this card is that you can use your Going Merry stage to make your Nami a 3 cost character, and then that fulfills the cost for your event, and then you can rest a 5 cost by only resting your Nami, which is really good. Otherwise, you can also combo it with the Zoro to rest a 4 cost blocker and a 5 cost blocker, which is also pretty strong. On top of that, you can always just use it as 2 Dawn, so you can restand it with your leader effect when you're going for lethal, because sometimes for these lethal turns, you actually don't have any rested Dawn, everything is attached. And in that sense, that makes it like a very efficient card because it's essentially free 3k power. Then later you Dawn -2 using attached Dawn, and then you get this 2 Dawn back active. So that's really powerful. Other than that, I think you can see the overall like lines for the deck are very straightforward as well. I think I've also added one more 4 cost film Sanji to the deck because on that 6 Dawn turn you want to make sure you have a 4 cost to play down. So that's why I've upped the total count to 6. Sorry, other than Zoro, 6 more. So that's pretty decent. Otherwise, the deck is really fun. It's very aggro, it's very fast, and it does have some very good lines. It has a pretty strong defense as well with Gigant and the 6k base. And the Chopper blocker is actually very useful to keep your Dawn up as well as just be a quick blocker. That being said, it is still early in the EBO2 meta. In Japan, they are testing a lot of other different techs as well. I've seen some of them running Electrical Luna, some of them are running 8 cost Kid, some of them are running more of the SEC, some of them are still running the Film Blocker Luffy, some of them are running more of the Robin blockers still, some of them are even running the 4 cost Odyssey Robin because Black Lucci is coming back in order to deal with this deck as well. So really exciting days for the early stages of the EBO2 meta. I think more will still be discovered about this deck, and there's going to be even more exciting changes once OP11 drops. In the meantime, I will continue testing some decks to counter this deck as well as just testing this deck itself to make sure that my fundamentals for the deck are pretty up to par, so I know what can counter it well. All that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like. Thank you so much for watching to the end. I appreciate you very much, friendos and randos. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, turn on the bell for notifications, and also follow me on X where I share many more of my bad takes. That's all for today, friendos and randos, and I will see you guys again next time. Peace out.